My wife and I moved to PEI from Belgium in Europe as she was recruited to be a French teacher on the island. In the process of moving to Canada, I was thinking, what on earth should I do in PEI? Since my previous company in Brussels wouldn't really have worked with the PEI economy. So I did some research and came across the Culinary Institute and thought, that sounds like a lot of fun. So I thought I would try and do the program since I've always enjoyed cooking and baking. Additionally, my wife was going to be fully employed, so I thought I could become a student and enroll in the pastry arts program at Holland College, as this would allow me to embark on a new and exciting adventure. My wife and I tend to move around every 5 years or so. We've lived in Belgium, Austria, Switzerland, Washington DC, Vienna in Austria, so we're quite happy moving around. This time it was more important because the second of our two daughters was about to leave home, so we thought, should we live in our home in Brussels doing the same stuff that we've always done now that everybody's moved out, or is it the right time for another adventure? Obviously, it was adventure time, and so when my wife was offered a job where we had to relocate to PEI, we didn't hesitate. As a mature student who's lived in many different countries, I think my creative process is maybe a little bit different from the fellow students here who have more of a local or Canadian experience. So as I've traveled, I've been able to taste lots and lots of different dishes that I've loved from all around the world. And what I tend to do is borrow a lot from these experiences and adapt the dishes to fit the culture in Canada. I've traveled in Africa and in Asia, and since I love food, it leads to a willingness to try new things and discover new ideas. For example, when I was in Fiji, I remember that they use coconut in all of their dishes, and I try to adapt that principle to what I'm doing in the kitchen here. Tastes and flavors inspire me, and it's a luxury to be able to take inspiration and adapt classic recipes to fit this new area. Pastry arts is a very different profession from what I was doing previously. For most of my career, I've been involved in a lot of policy work and politics and the like, and it's been at quite a theoretical level. There's always been a lot of research and the balancing of different arguments to create a logical thought process to determine what are the best policies to deal with different issues. However, in pastry arts, actually, there's no argument. There's only absolutes. If you want to bake a cake, this is how you do it. You can't start with butter instead of flour. You can't argue with the cake. It's really quite straightforward. And I haven't done that type of learning since I left school. Therefore, I'm trying to get my brain to go back into that mode where I absorb things and learn things by heart. What's nice about Canada is that the population has originally come from many different cultures and backgrounds from all over the world, which means there's an openness here for fusion that might not exist in other places in the world. Even yesterday in the cafeteria, I had a sloppy Joe. I've no idea what that is because I've never heard of it before. And it seems to be a fusion between a hamburger on the one hand and spaghetti bolognese on the other. I thought, that's just brilliant. And you wouldn't see that happening in Europe because there's just so many years of culinary tradition. So it's been really great fun for me to see all this experimentation and openness and just a willingness to do things differently. As a mature student, it was important to sort of leave my old life behind and focus on learning and embracing the new experiences as a student. I believe that listening is key to adapting to challenges, especially since learning has evolved and become, I think, more difficult for students today. As a student, I try to leave my previous life experience behind and fully embrace the process of learning with a completely open mind and a willingness to grow. Being a student, again, has been refreshing for me, especially since in my career I had to provide results all the time. There was little room for error. In school, however, it's an environment to make mistakes, and we learn from them and become better and evolve as individuals. Well, funnily enough, I've become one of the more popular people in my neighborhood because I love to bake and often bring home the baked goods to share with my neighbors. And they're always so curious to know, what have you made today? And it feels great to see their faces light up when they try some of my creations. Making something from scratch and seeing people enjoy it is one of the most rewarding things in the world, I think. In my past career, everything was theoretical, but now working in pastry arts, I get to use my hands to create something tangible and delicious. Hearing someone describe my baked goods as awesome is very satisfying and makes all the hard work worthwhile.